Esther Nakajubi is my name, Managing Director, Kasanji Practical and Demonstration Farm. Here we are at Kasanji Practical and Demonstration Farm. This is the dairy unit, the dairy section. And at the dairy section, we are keeping different breeds, but we are mainly keeping Frisians. We have one Gazi, we have Asha, and then this one is a cross between Frisian and Brown Swiss. So we are basically keeping breeds, dairy breeds only. And the purpose of keeping dairy breeds, it's because our breeding objective is to have high quality or to increase milk production, but as well as also having animals whose consumption is not very high, to discourage us or maybe to become a problem when it comes to feeding them. Behind me are our cows feeding, and they are feeding on hay. This is hay, the grass they are feeding on. And once we feed them on hay, they take in the dry matter content the moisture content in the hay has been reduced. So once it reduces, that means that they take in bigger volumes of water. And we know for the dairy animals and even the beef, water contributes a lot to it has a very big percentage on the composition of milk. So once we give them this dry grass, which is called hay, it increases on the water intake, which is our interest if we want to get more milk. But still, what we do on this hay, we usually add some additives. At times we put inoculants. We add some additives to increase the palatability of this grass. So once we additives, like at times we put molasses, we sprinkle molasses on the hay, and once we sprinkle, it increases the palatability of the feed. And at times we put some minerals. And probably, by the way, once we are giving this feed, we usually mix what we call a total mixed ration. We get silage. There is this bit, it was here. We get some silage, which was made. This is the silage. We usually get some silage. We mix it with hay, and also the dairy meal, and plus some other additives like we usually put some minerals, and then mix together. Once we mix it, we feed our animals on the total mixed ration. It's a complete feed. It's a total mixed ration. So once we feed them on that, the palatability has been increased. And once they feed on this, the microbes that are in that, because we add some dairy meal as a concentrate, it increases on the multiplication of the microbial flora in the rumen. And once it's increased, that means that the digestibility of this feed they have eaten is going to be increased. And once the digestibility increases, plus some vitamins that we added and others, the utilization of the absorption and utilization of the nutrients from what we've given them is increased, and that is reflected in the amount of milk that these cows are going to give you. So as farmers out there, I would urge them to include science in managing dairy animals. Once you include that science, it gives you good results. Your animals can get good results. You get good results in terms of performance of your animals. So what we do, we usually give them this, and we add some molasses in their water. Some molasses in the water they take. So it increases also on the amount of water that has been taken by these animals. So at the end of the day, an animal is able to give you reasonable amount of milk. We had some of them at their first parity, they can give you 25 liters. At second parity, they give up to 30 liters. And maybe this lady next to me, she's been sick. She's called LEASE. She's under treatment. That even explains her body condition. She's under treatment. She had some. She's picking up. She had lumpy skin, but she's improving. Um, in her first parity, she has given us the first calf. In her first parity, Liz was giving us 24 liters. So we anticipate, usually in dairy, you can estimate the amount of milk. You can do selection based on the performance of the cow in its first parity, in its first calving. If she gave us 23 liters, now we anticipate that in the next calvings, she will be able to give us close to 30 liters or 30 liters. With better management, she can even go up to 35 liters. So, and we have so many that perform good or perform well. So what we did basically in Kasanje, we started with one cow. She's called Kakopo. She's somewhere there. We started with one cow, which I inseminated. I want to encourage farmers out there. I inseminated it myself. It gave me a female called Margaret. Then I inseminated it again. It gave me Liz. I inseminated it again. It gave Mukisa. And then there it gave us a bull called David. Then even the first daughter, Margaret, also gave us a female. So, and it was me inseminating all of them. So now I want to urge farmers out there. You don't have to start with a very big herd. This herd started with one cow. And right now we are seeing so many cows behind us. And there are so many calves, some of them you've not been able to see them. So this means that once your focus, you should have an objective. When we go into breeding, or when we go into dairy management, we have to come up with an objective. Which objective is the one we take for as our breeding objective? And once that objective has been set, we usually look at the environment where it's going to be achieved. We usually look at the selection procedures that we are going to use, and we usually look at the mating procedures that we are going to use, evaluation, and so many other things. And once we have our set objective and the targets within that objective, we carry out an evaluation at the end of the day to see have we been able to achieve it. As I told you, we started with one cow. It wasn't a cow, it was even a heifer. So I inseminated it. I used the semen. It was a crossbreed. We did some bit of upgrading. So I inseminated it with good quality semen. It gave me a female whose genetics, all whose quality in terms of breed had improved from the level of the mother. So, and again, within that female, I used again better quality semen. So that's how I upgraded to improve my breed quality by upgrading. So I urge farmers out there, you can also improve the quality of your breed by just upgrading. You may not start with a very expensive cow, but you can upgrade it to the level that you may be, to the level of your desire, maybe your objective, if your objective is to improve breed. And once we are breeding here, we usually look at several things. We look at the selection that we do in these calves. We usually take our weights when the calves are born. There is a certain weight that they are supposed to reach for them to be selected for breeding. If a calf does not give you that weight at birth, then we don't consider it for breeding. And then when we are raising these cows, we usually make sure that we give them enough milk, most especially for the females and even males that are meant for breeding. Because for us, we don't slaughter the males, we also raise them up, and we sell them as breeding males, and they buy them. So what we do, we give them good amounts of milk, and in addition to that, we usually supplement with uh, uh, some pellets, and these pellets increase on the development of the stomach of those calves, because they are born when the stomach is not yet developed. So we initiate by giving them hay, and also providing and also providing the pellets. It speeds up the development of the stomach, and then eventually when they start feeding on hay, by the time you wean them, the stomach has been well developed, and they can digest the feed so well to extract the nutrients out of it. And then after that, when you put them on a total mixed ration, the calves always grow very fast. Margaret have talked about she conceived before she clicked a year, before she made a year. Liz also conceived before she made a year, and the Muksa, those ones that were born here at first, they all conceived before they made a year, and that is explained from the feeding that we subjected them to right from when they were born and as they grew. So it's very crucial for these animals to be fed well, and also to be provided with a comfortable environment. Here we are is the dairy unit. Up is where we keep their feed. It's the hay barn. So we use still the same, as I told you in the case of Pigalle. We use still the same loofing to achieve two goals. The cows are there, but also the hay barn is there as well. So we think for the farmers out there, we usually organize trainings also for dairy. We want now to be innovative. How do you make your silage, the silage that can be ready within 4 to 6 days? How do you make your own homemade chikanja? We also go in the trainings, because now that's detail. We can train you how to do that. And how do you really make practically? Now you can come. We learn how to make a total mixed ration for the dairy, so that your cows are going to give you what you desire out of them. These animals can perform. And you know what is very funny? For all livestock species, be it cattle, pigs, poultry, or any other, once you feed them, whatever they eat, they extract what they need for their they extract what they need for their body maintenance. So whatever you give, they first get what they need for their body maintenance, and after getting what they need for their body maintenance, then the balance is what they defer to production and reproduction. So which means that if your cow is not fed well, it's not going to conceive, it's not going to come into heat. And once it comes into heat, this is why some say these animals are inseminated, they don't conceive. It's one of the reasons. There are so many, but it's one of the reasons. And even coming into heat, that's why sometimes they say this cow has silent heat. Yes, there are so many reasons, but that one can be one of them. Because if it has silent heat, at times we just have to adjust the nutrition, to improve on the nutrition, to put those other to add some nutrients that might be lacking, and then you will see this cow come into heat. And once you've made it, once you've made a total mixed ration, and the cow gets what it needs for its body maintenance, that means that it's going to be able to give your calf a year. And when it gives your calf a year, again it will be in lactation for the recommended number of days, and then also give you enough milk, because this is why we rear them. This is the first cow, the cow that started the herd. It's called Kakopo. We like it so much, It's our first cow. Yes, it's our grandmother. And it is still performing. It is still performing so well. And if I don't tell you, and you look at all of them, You cannot tell unless I've told you.